Then I saw a great white throne and him who was seated on it. From his presence, earth and sky fled away, and no place was found for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Then another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged by what was written in the books, according to what they had done. The word books in this passage is defined by Strong's as a roll, which is a diminutive of the word meaning the inner bark of the papyrus plant. That is, a sheet or scroll of writing. 2,000 years ago, a book was not made like it is today. In this instance, and as the illustration shows, it consisted of pages of papyrus wrapped around each other. So the word books is a little misleading. In actuality, it is but one book made up of many pages and sealed with 7 seals. Today, this would be a book with chapters, for each chapter correlates with a seal. The following from the Concordant Literal New Testament gives us a better rendering in light of this idea. And I perceived the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and scrolls were opened. And another scroll was opened, which is the scroll of life. And the dead were judged by that which is written in the scrolls in accord with their acts. The scrolls or books at the great white throne refer to the entire revelation of Jesus Christ that John was given to show to his servants the things that must soon take place. This is confirmed by the following. And behold, I am coming soon. Blessed is the one who keeps the words of the prophecy of this book. But he said to me, you must not do that. I am a fellow servant with you and your brothers the prophets, and with those who keep the words of this book. Worship God. I warn everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to them, God will add to him the plagues described in this book. And if anyone takes away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God will take away his share in the tree of life and in the holy city, which are described in this book. The fact we are warned about the words of the prophecy of this book confirms that it refers to the entire prophetic content, all of John's visions. What other book would it be? And just as the fellow servant tells John not to worship him, the same is found in the following. Then I fell down at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, you must not do that. I am a fellow servant with you and your brothers who hold to the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. The testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Here, John is told that his fellow servants hold to the testimony of Jesus. What is this testimony? The spirit of prophecy. This takes us to the 2nd and 3rd chapters of Revelation, where Jesus declares 7 prophecies to the 7 churches. Yes, the entire book of Revelation is prophetic, but the 7 prophecies establish a foundational understanding from which we can better perceive the reason and purpose of the visions that follow. The most amazing thing about these prophecies is that they foretell what would happen to the church long before it did. After all, that is the nature of prophecy, is it not? What is the spirit of prophecy? It is the spirit of truth, for Jesus said he would declare to us things that are to come. We should also note that the word plagues in Revelation 22:18 is a bit misleading, referring to stripes or discipline. This same word is used 16 times in Revelation, all of them referring to discipline in one form or another, as well as to the pouring out of the vials or bowls in Revelation chapters 15 and 16. 16 is the number denoting love. So in the pouring out of the bowls, we see the loving discipline of a father, not some horrendous series of plagues on mankind for the sake of vengeance and torture. When his judgments are in the earth, we learn righteousness. And isn't that the purpose of discipline? Further confirmation of his discipline is seen in the fact that this word is found a total of 22 times in the King James New Testament. 22 is the number of the sons of light, and Hebrews 12:6 tells us, "The Lord disciplines the one he loves and chastises every son whom he receives." Let me emphasize, the scrolls, plural, at the great white throne make up the entire content of the revelation of Jesus Christ, all of it to be fulfilled in accordance with God's will and purpose. But it's here that we get ourselves in trouble. In the New King James we read, "things which must shortly take place," while in the ESV, "the things that must soon take place." In the NASB version, we also read, "the things which must soon take place," while in the Young's Literal, "things that behooveth to come to pass quickly." Concordant Literal just says, "what must occur swiftly." Now, here's where tradition succeeds in muddying the waters of John's visions. Many believe that the unfolding of the prophecies in Revelation are yet future, incorporating a rapture, Armageddon, and a white throne judgment. But here's the problem. Based on the idea of soon take place and must occur swiftly, how are we able to just throw out 2,000 years of the history which has followed since the beginning of the New Testament church? Did the Lord just put everything on hold until sometime in our future? I don't think so, and here's my take. First, consider the idea of soon take place as meaning just that. Then, step back to John's time and recognize that what lay in John's future regarding the church could very easily now be in our past. Furthermore, several of these particular things are not only past, but remain in the present. Case in point, the Great White Throne Judgment. Folks, this is not some great event coming, but a present, ongoing reality since the Lord first ascended to the right hand of the Father. Along with the books at the Great White Throne, we see another book opened, which is the Book of Life. In other studies, I refer to this book or scroll as that which is seen when the fifth seal is opened. There are several reasons for this. The first, that it is the fifth seal and scroll. 5 is the number of both sin and grace, and His grace in the midst of our sin is the greatest testimony of God's love on this planet. We have 5 fingers on each hand and 5 toes on each foot. Hands typify our works or deeds, while feet typify our walk or conduct in life. Both of these in light of sin and grace, right? We do, of course, have a left and right hand and a left and right foot. This duality suggests several things, not the least of which is our transition from the left hand of God to the right, as described in the parable of the sheep and goats. This shows our transition from the letter of the law to the spirit of it. In the previous series on the 4 horsemen, we considered what the first 4 seals represent. 4 is foundational, and since the book of Revelation is a revelation of Christ, then the first 4 seals denote Christ coming to us as wisdom, understanding, counsel, and might, so that we might possess the knowledge and fear of the Lord that transforms our hearts and minds. The attributes wisdom, understanding, counsel, might, knowledge, and fear of the Lord are the 6 spirits of God, summed up in the 7th, which is His righteous judgment. This is seen in Isaiah chapter 11 and correlates with the 7 spirits of God in Revelation. As we will see, His righteous judgment correlates with the 5th seal. 7 seals, or the first 4, are foundational. Please note the following illustration. As indicated, the first 4 denote the foundation. When we add these numbers together, it comes to 10, representing the reestablishment of divine order through the judgment of the law. The foundation of Christ is the law, not just the letter of it, but the spirit of it as well, for it takes both to form a new creature. This divine order is described in Romans 13, verses 8 through 10. From out of the foundation of Christ comes what is necessary to fulfill His judgment from the throne of grace. In Revelation, it is the 5th and 6th seals, which when added together is 11, a number denoting imperfection and disorder, typifying the confusion in our lives that is apparent until we mature in Christ. 7 is the top of the triangle. When we add all the numbers together, we have 28, representing the leading of the Spirit. When we add 5 or grace to our number 7, or spiritual completeness, we have 12, the number of His divine governance. Simply put, out of the throne of grace proceeds His righteous judgment or divine governance in our lives. This is not only true of His people, but also of the world at large. Christ has been ruling from the right hand of the Father since His baptism by John the Baptist. Folks, He is not coming to rule. He is ruling. He is not coming to judge. He is judging. Much of what tradition defines as being in the future has been unfolding over the past 2,000 years. Is it finished? Not by any means. Dear brother and sister, Christ is a life-giving spirit, not a person sitting on a literal throne in heaven. The throne is simply a symbol of His divine power and authority given Him by the Father. And He, along with others, has been exercising His power and authority for the past 2,000 years, bringing the Father's will to its finish. That said, I will close this study, but I invite you to join me next time as we continue our look into the 5th and 6th seals. Thank you for being a part of Grain of Wheat Publishing.